With a property shortage and many people waiting years for public housing, Kate thought she'd rent her place out to the government. All she really asked for was the space be respected and kept in good condition. But she's not moving back in anytime soon.
It's just, it's been very stressful. I wouldn't rent my property to the government again, and I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone to do it either.
There's tens of thousands of people on the public housing wait list, yet one lucky enough to get a roof over their head did this.
Just envisage a rubbish tip, pretty much.
Kate owns the property. She used to live in it herself. Now, Kate regrets the day she ever gave it up for rent through the government.
It just felt like we were second-rate citizens.
When Kate leased the one-bedroom unit in 2022, it looked like this. But left under the Victorian government's watch, it's now uninhabitable.
There was needles everywhere, there was obviously drug paraphernalia. A couple of photos actually showed knives stuck into the wall, black mould all over the bathroom roof. The curtains were ripped.
When Kate's property manager eventually got inside to inspect the beachside home on Melbourne's Port Phillip Bay, her skin crawled.
She lasted maybe 30 seconds and she had to leave because of the rash and the breathing difficulty she had.
Neighbour Anthony recalling the tenant's strange lifestyle.
He'd always just be making a ruckus, and sometimes he'd be jumping around on the roof as well, into other people's backyards.
Anthony says he'd hoard large rocks inside.
Well, you'd have them just sitting there at the front of his door, sometimes in his house. You know, he's got all these weird gadgets and stuff. You don't know what he's going to do with it. Like, you don't know his intent.
Neighbours had reported him on the roof at 3 a.m, screaming and abusing. There was an incident with another tenant within the complex who actually moved out, and so all this was emailed to the government, and their response was pretty much, it's a police matter, not ours.
But even police couldn't make Anthony's partner feel safe living next door.
She doesn't even feel safe to get the rubbish, you know, sometimes.
The tenant had been living in public housing nearby, but works to that property meant the department had to rehome him, and they looked to the private sector to do it.
And it seemed fairly low risk, and thought that it'd be a great idea to sort of help out with the housing crisis.
Kate read the terms and conditions and thought, what could go wrong? They'd even promised a 2% rent rise every year.
The main guarantees were you'll always get your rent paid, which was, I thought that's fantastic. The other thing was that they would repair the property or return the property to the condition that you provided it to.
But a few months in, the surfboard started to pile up on the roof. The locks were changed without notice and the home unrecognisable.
Yeah, I just never thought that it would turn out the way it has.
No one could access the property but the tenant, who was trashing it on the taxpayer's dime. But Kate says the department didn't seem to care.
They said to us that he was vulnerable and he had the right to change the locks.
You feel bad for the homeowner as well, because, this is their problem that they have to fix.
But it's still not fixed, and that's after a year from hell.
It's taken us well over 12 months to get the house returned, or just the tenant out.
Kate had to resort to VCAT. A possession order and a warrant later, he was finally out. But not thanks to the government, thanks to police.
We had to wait another 10 days before the police could actually go in there and remove him.
The Department of Housing knew that the place was being trashed and did sweet nothing about it.
Kate even reached out to her local MP, Brad Rosewell.
It shouldn't have taken my office to contact the government minister's office. It shouldn't have taken Kate to contact the Department of Housing time and time again with no response. They should have just stepped in.
If this can happen to a landlord leasing through the government, what happens to landlords attempting to do it all on their own? In Upasana's case, it's been almost identical to Kate's experience.
I've just been worried, sick, lots of sleepless nights, just constantly thinking about what I'm going to find inside, when she's going to leave, how much money this is going to cost me out of pocket that I frankly don't have.
Upasana Muti can't pay her mortgage because her tenant won't pay the rent and refuses to leave the property in Melbourne's outer southwest. Instead, she says the tenant hosts raging parties and irritates neighbours.
I took pity on her and her story. It was domestic violence. She was trying to, get her kids into a safe place, give them a good future, and she just needed help, so I gave her my house fully furnished as well.
Now, Upasana says she's owed $10,000 in rent.
We can't make entry without her permission. We have given her notices to vacate. She hasn't. The only thing we have left is to wait for VCAT. Tenants having all the rights, I don't think it's very fair.
At the end of the day, this is your home.
Yes, yes.
You bought it.
Yes. Worked very hard for it, yes.
While Kate waits for her unit to be cleaned, we receive this from the Department of Families, Fairness and Housing.
We have kept the owner and managing agent up to date every step of the way and are continuing to pay rent while we work with the owner to ensure the property is handed back in accordance with the Residential Tenancies Act.
Just my whole trust in the government has disappeared.
Yeah, it's just horrific for those wanting to help out, and a real shame when so many people are in desperate need of a home.